Hey guys, it's Spicy, and in this video I'm going to give you guys all Cypher one-way smokes on all maps and on all sites. And along with the one-way smokes, I'm also going to give you guys a camera spot and the position that you need to be in, so that way you can really take advantage of the one-way smoke itself. Also remember guys, if you want to see these one-way smokes in action, you can see that on my stream, Twitch SpicyCurry 0, Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 3 Eastern Standard Time. Links are in the description, go give that a follow. And I'm always releasing Cypher content on this channel, so you make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. And after you're done watching this video, hit that like button and let me know in the comments down below what your favorite one-way smoke is. But anyways guys, let's get into these one-way smokes. Alright guys, we're going to start on Haven on Long C, and the reason why is that I actually found a new one-way smoke for the Long C choke. But I'm going to show you guys the two easy one-way smokes for the Long C choke, and then I'll show you the new one. So first one-way smoke, if you're defending from the right side, what you're going to do is come over here, line up with the inside corner of this square right over here, and your goal is to land it on the platform over here. So make sure you're on the left side of the platform before you hit this pillar. So line up with it roughly over here. And then what you're going to do is from over here, you're just going to go up to this tree branch over here. So there's a lot of room for error on this. So I'm over here and then I go up to this tree branch and I just let this go and it's going to land there. And there's a lot of room for error. I can also go to the right side and it's going to land. But you don't want it on the right side because then it's not going to cover as much choke. So you want it to the left as much as possible. So right over here is good enough. Here's how the one-way smoke looks like. You can see all the way to the end of the choke over here. So you can activate this right at the beginning of the round and you can take advantage of it, and you should be able to get a pick, especially if you have an op. And if you're trying to get people out of spawn, then you don't have to really worry about a camera spot. Usually a camera spot right over here aligned with this third block is fine. So that way you can see people when they're at cubby, and you can still take advantage of the one-way smoke when people are at cubby over here. Now when it comes to the left side, you have this one-way smoke over here. You just come to this window. There's no real positioning for this. The goal is to aim for this ledge and it's going to land on the window. So pretty much like this, do this, and it's going to land over here. Very easy to do. This is if you're guarding the left side. So my positioning for that one-way smoke is generally on these logs over here. So here's how the one-way smoke looks. It's really good, especially if people are in the choke at the entrance. They're not going to see you because you're on the high ground. And this camera spot right over here is perfect for them. Generally speaking, I would want it even a little more to the left. So right over here is perfect. Because remember guys, for all one-way smokes, the camera is critical because that's going to be the indicator of when you activate the one-way. So you want to put the cameras in a very safe position. So right over here, it's a safe position. They can't shoot the camera down until they're in the view of my one-way. So if they shoot it down then, I don't care. They're already getting shot through the one-way. So that's the camera position I use for this. When people are in this choke right over here, I activate this cage and this is what I end up getting. So that's the left side one-way. So now this one-way cage that I showed you, it's very effective through spawn. But if people have already entered the choke, then this one-way isn't as effective because you need to be on the ground for it. So the new one-way that I found is actually going to land on this pillar over here. It's going to look a little complex initially, but it's very easy once you get the hang of it. So make sure you go into practice and try this out. But again, same as before, you're going to end up lining yourself up with the inside corner right over here. And then once you've lined up, now what you're going to do is you're going to look at the user interface. And I'm going to zoom in on it. But essentially below the 100, look where the line ends. You're going to line it up with this part of the box. So the end of the line has to be right over here. I'm going to zoom in on it so you're going to have an idea. So once you line up with that corner, what you're going to do is you're going to line yourself up with this pillar over here. And then you're going to go straight up until that line below the 100, which I'm going to zoom in on, is right over here along with the box. Again, once you go in and you try this yourself, you're going to see that this is very easy and you're going to use this one-way smoke a lot. So this right over here works out really well. As you can see, it's going to land on that wooden pillar. So that's high enough for you to really take advantage of this one-way smoke. What you want to do though is, again, make sure this camera isn't a little deeper. So that way you only see this part because that's where you want to take advantage of this. So you're going to look through the camera, people come into this choke, you're going to activate this, see that it's on the top pillar, and activate this. Look at this one-way smoke right over here. And you have the biggest advantage over here because you're on the platform, so they barely see you. It works out really well because if anyone's in this choke, you're just going to mow them down. So this is a one-way smoke that I've used a lot lately. Also remember, for all those long C one-way smokes, you're free to use this simple trap wire over here. Just put it close to the ground, that way they have to look hard for it. And while they're trying to destroy it, you can activate your one-way smoke. No one's really going to get caught in it. They're usually going to destroy it, but it's a good distraction. Alright guys, this next smoke is going to be the connector one-way over here. I found an easier way to do it than the last time. You're going to come into this corner and you're simply going to aim. See these two things that look like iron rings in the steel rod? There's 1 and 2. You're just gonna look at the second one over here, and you're just gonna let it go right over here like this, and it's gonna land on the steel thing, and it's gonna give you a really good one-way smoke from this position over here, where you can see into garage all the way to the end. Now the positioning that I use for that one-way smoke is usually right over here. Works out really well, especially if you have an operator. From here over here, you can see right over to the end of the connector. Usually you can put a trap wire in here to stall them and cause a distraction, and that's going to force them to check it over here, and they're going to be in your line of sight. So this one-way smoke works out really well. Alright guys, the next one-way smoke is going to be for garage entrance right over here. So this is very effective, especially on defense, and it's a very easy lineup. So here's this one-way smoke itself. So you could be in whatever position, you're going to be able to take advantage of it, whether you're in window or you're on the ground. So what you're going to do for this one-way smoke is you're going to line it up before the round starts, and then you're going to throw it once the wall goes down. So you're going to come into this corner right over here, and then what you're going to do is you're going to look at the third square on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, and you're going to go up until you reach the steel panel right over here, and you're just going to let this go, and this is going to land on the ledge over there, and it's going to set up a beautiful one-way smoke. Now the camera that I usually use for this one-way smoke is a very simple one right over here, right beneath this pipe. You can set it up before the wall goes down, because this gives you kind of a one-way look into the doorway, so you're going to see the enemy before they see you. Also, if you have time after the wall goes down, you can set this trap wire right over here. It's not a necessity, but if you have time. Now positioning wise, I'm usually waiting on the left side of the window over here, right over here, and I'm looking through the camera. As soon as I see that the opponent is committing to a push through garage, I activate this one way, and I end up with this. Now usually when I do this, if they back up, I usually jump down into this corner and I try to get them over here. And usually I also double stack the one-way cages, so if they back up and my one-way smoke expires, I activate another one and I try to get them from here. I only give you some defensive one-ways that you can use on A site. So what you're going to do for this, right over here, we're going to one-way this long A choke right over here. You're going to line yourself up with this line over here. You're going to put yourself right in the middle like this. And this is something that you're going to have to throw after the wall goes down, but it's fairly easy to do and you're going to have more than enough time. Is line yourself up with the bottom of this panel like this. You're just going to let this go. This is going to land right over there. Fairly easy. And then the next one, you're going to line yourself up with the edge of this window right over here, the light edge. Make sure it's the light edge, otherwise it won't work. And then you're just going to let this go. And this is going to ricochet and it's going to simply fall into the window. Now when it comes to the camera, what I usually do is I get on this box and I just put the camera right over here. This is good enough for this one-way smoke, and it's in a fairly mobile position that people won't see it as much. And then what you end up with is this. As soon as I start seeing activity in this corner, and maybe even if people are committed to taking this, I just activate both of these. Easy clap, boys. Get the whole choke one way and you just mold them down. Alright guys, next we're gonna one-way smoke short A. So what you're gonna do for this one-way smoke, guys, you're gonna wait for the wall to go down, and you're really quickly gonna come over here and you're just gonna put your smoke off this wooden panel right over here. As you can see, all I have to do is come right below this doorway, and there's a little gap over here, and I'm just gonna aim for this and it's gonna land right over here. Very easy to do. I'm not exposed, right? And then as I'm leaving, I put my camera right over here. It's a very easy spot. It's good enough to do it quickly. Try to do this in less than 6 seconds. But here you have your camera. Here you have your one-way smoke. And that's good enough. If I see activity, I activate it. And right over here, you have the full one-way smoke right over here. Works out really, really well. You're going to be able to mow people down very easily. You can obviously shoot through the smoke. And you have eyes inside. Alright guys, now we're on Ascent, and I got some crazy good one-way smokes for you on this one. I actually made an improvement to a one-way smoke that I showed you previously. So if you guys remember before, I showed you a one-way smoke for this one right over here, so you can get people coming out of spawn. But what you're going to do is you're just going to get in this corner right over here. So what you're going to do is look at the line that I'm circling right now. There's a wavy line and a straight line. I line it up approximately like this. This is how I line it up. Alright. And then once it's lined up like this, I just let this go once the wall goes down. And as you can see, the one-way smoke, it lands right over there on the ledge. Once you get the hang of this, this is insane one-way smoke, unstoppable one-way smoke. Pistol round, for example, if the enemy team is rushing, you just let this thing go, and this is what you end up getting, right? Like, look at this one-way smoke. Wait for the wall to go down, you throw this thing, and then you activate it, and it's just unstoppable. So make sure you keep this one-way smoke in your back pocket. Let's move on to a more defensive one-way smoke. This is going to be a one-way smoke that I showed you guys previously, and I made a slight adjustment to it so it's slightly easier to do. But this is going to be the one-way smoke that is going to address the choke locations right over here. So what you're going to do for this left side smoke on this choke over here is see this steel thing right over here, and see this thing in the background, this brown thing. You're just going to look right over there, and you're going to put your crosshair right over here. So right underneath the brown thing and right where the steel thing meets it. So just underneath it, you do this and you're good to go. It's going to land on the left side. And then for the right side, all you're going to do is you're going to crouch and you're going to look at the bottom of this building right over here on the platform right over here. And while crouching, you let this go, and this way you get the right side. So that way you got both one-way smokes on both sides from one location, and you're good to go. And then to complement these one-way smokes, you can put your camera right over here. You can also put your camera right over here. This will complement the one-way smokes really well. Positioning wise, it's up to you. Generally speaking, you can be right over here behind this wall. You can be right over here in CT. And you can also be on the platform. You just look at the choke through the camera. Once you see the enemies are in that location, you have this whole one-way smoke to yourself, and you can attack the way you want. All right, guys, now we're on mid on Ascent. So for this, the one-way smoke is going to be mostly to address this main choke right over here. And before you do this, just really quickly make sure you come over here. You put your camera over here. It's a great camera. It's going to give you a good view of the one-way smoke. If you feel like that camera keeps getting shot down, you can also put your camera over here. This is going to be protected from the catwalk, and it gives you the main location that the one-way smoke will zero in on. Line yourself up with this edge right over here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go a little bit to the left. You can see this ledge right over here, right? You're going to go from the ledge all the way to the left until you're just beside this white cloud right over here. See this white cloud? It sticks out very easily. So you line yourself up with the ledge, and you go to the left until you're on the right edge of the white cloud. When the wall goes down, you're going to let this go really quickly. And as you can see, it's going to land on that curved part of the platform, and it's going to give you a beautiful one-way smoke right over here. You can see everything. If you come to the left, you can see all the way to the end of the entrance. You have your camera over here to complement with this one-way smoke. You can obviously activate the one-way from the camera, and this is what you end up getting. Really good one-way smoke. And now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to come to the A site, and we are going to start with the one-way smokes for A long. So for this, found a way to put one-way smokes on both sides. You just come on this box over here, you come here in the corner. So once you've lined yourself up with the corner of this box over here, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the windows over here. See window 1, window 2. You're going to look at the top edge of this window and go to the left until you're in the middle right over here. So this way you get the left hand side one way, and then for the right side, what you're going to do is line yourself up with this corner right over here, this corner, and go up till you're in line with the top of the roof. Very, very simple. And then you let this go over here, and you get the right hand one-way smoke. Very, very easy. And then this way you end up with this, and you can approach this the way you want. Generally speaking, I'm putting a camera over here. This gives me a good view. You can also put your camera right over here. This gives you a view of the left hand side, and it's a more safe position because people won't be able to knock it down until they pass the whole choke. These are the one-way smokes, and you can position yourself to the right side of generator, behind generator, at boxes, and behind this wooden thing. So you have a lot of options in terms of positioning. Because the one-way smoke is for the whole choke, you can pretty much be wherever you want. Now we're on short A. First, what we're going to do is we're going to one-way smoke this doorway, come into this corner. And again, this is something that you're going to have to use the user interface for. I'm going to zoom in, but essentially what you're doing is you're lining up that line that I always talk about with this brick right over here, with the bottom of this brick. And once you do that, you're pretty much good to go. And I can just do this in my sleep. I do this and it lands right over there. As you can see, look at the line, right? So there's a lot of room for error on this. And as long as that line is at the bottom of the brick, you're fine. And again, it's this brick right over here. That's the brick we're talking about. When it comes to the camera, just put it at the top over here. This gives you a view if anyone turns the corner. That way you know when to activate it. And in terms of positioning, a couple of different things. You can position yourself over here. You can also position yourself over here in the ground. You know, you're going to catch them off guard once you activate this and you peek. They're going to be caught off guard and you can take advantage of it. This is the safest position, of course, because this one-way smoke still affects people inside the choke. I can also give you guys another one-way smoke. Come over here. We're going to break the glass. We're going to line up with the wooden ledge right over here like this. And then we're going to look at the middle of this lamp. We're going to look at the rod and we're going to go up till we hit the pipe. And then we just let this go. And as you can see, it's going to land on the lamp. And that is going to be another one-way smoke. Now this is obviously a one-way smoke for this choke, And you can obviously still use this camera because you can see people approaching this choke. As soon as you see people approaching that choke, you can activate the one-way smoke from here, and this is what you end up getting. It works out really well. If you want to be more aggressive, you can actually be on the ground over here. This works really well as well. So there's a lot of different options with this one-way smoke, but essentially anyone who comes through this choke is going to get demolished. But also anyone who is going past this choke over here, you can still get them. So if someone is trying to break this door down from here, you can still see them from over there. So great one-way smoke. Make sure you have this in your back pocket, boys. We're in Cypher's wheelhouse, and I'm going to obviously start with the best one-way smoke in the game. Here's the one-way smoke right over here. Line yourself up with the wooden panel, and anywhere around here is fine. It should work out pretty well. And when it comes to the camera spot, this camera spot is very popular now. It gets pre-fired, unfortunately. Everyone knows about it. Best thing to do now, what I usually do, I wait for the wall to go down and I put my camera spot right over here. This works out really well. People aren't really going to see it unless they're in this choke, and that's all you need it for, right? So whenever you see people going through this choke right over here, you're going to position yourself over here. When you start seeing people commit to the choke, you can activate this. You end up with this. You'll get a fat one-way smoke if there's a bunch of people in there. And you can also combo this with a trap wire at the garbage can. Eventually people are going to catch on to that, so you're going to have to change up your game plan. So then what do? I defend heaven because I know people are going to come from mid now. So if people are coming from mid, I hit them with this one-way smoke over here. I line up with this line right over here like this, and then I look up and I look at this first tube right over here, this first pipe. Look right above it, let this go. It's gonna land on the ropes. Now when it comes to the camera spot, here's a creative camera spot for heaven right over here. You're gonna come over here at the edge of this ledge, and then you're just gonna look at this black dish over here, that black circle thing. You're gonna put it right over there. Now again, this is not the same spot that I showed you that gets pre-fired. This spot isn't visible from here. People over here aren't gonna see that spot, so this spot is very good. It's a very good secondary spot to fall back on when this spot keeps getting pre-fired. And more importantly, this gives you clear view of heaven, so you know exactly when you should activate this one-way smoke. So it works really, really well. Now when it comes to the trap wires, I'm usually putting a trap wire here and here. Now you're gonna wonder, why am I not putting this trap wire over here at the doorway? Well, the reason for that is you want to encourage people to get onto the floor. You don't want people to stay over here, because when a person's over here, this one-way smoke isn't as effective because they're gonna see you. But when a person is on this floor, this one-way smoke is very effective. I'm gonna position myself over here in this corner, look through the camera, and then when I see people are on the wooden floor, I activate this one-way cage from the camera. I go up here and I have this whole area to myself where I can just shoot people in the legs. And remember, this is also wall bangable, and this is also wall bangable, so you can get people on the other side pretty easily. Very, very effective, powerful one-way smoke. I'm going to give you guys a one-way smoke for heaven on split. So you can set this one up before the wall goes down, and we're going to one-way smoke this area right over here. You're going to line yourself up with the first dinosaur outside the doorway, and you're going to line yourself up with its eye like this. And you're simply going to look at this part right over here on the wall. So right over here is good enough. I'm going to let this go. This smoke is going to land right over here. You're going to position yourself roughly over here. If you want, you can set up a trap wire in here. It's still very effective to do so. And when it comes to the camera, if you can wait for the wall to go down and put it right over here, you're going to be golden for this. So essentially, the one-way smoke is going to be the most effective when the enemy is anywhere behind this doorway right over here. Here's how it's going to look. When you activate this, if you crouch over here, you're going to be able to see that whole doorway, and that's where it's going to be most effective. Make sure you're not peeking the ramp over here, because when the person's coming up the ramp, you're going to be seeing their head. But once they've committed and they're on this steel floor right over here, this one-way smoke is going to be very effective. And that's why I said put a trap wire right over here before the doorway. So this way, if your camera goes down, you know exactly when to activate the one-way. All right, guys, the next one-way smoke is going to be for long A. So for this, we're going to come right over here. I'm going to line ourselves up with this edge. See this corner right over here? See this decline? And it meets the flat part right over here. You're going to line yourself up with that. Very easy to do. And then you're going to look over here. And see this, there's one triangle and the second one. You're going to line yourself up with the second triangle, and then you're going to go down until your crosshair is in the middle of this steel frame. And then you're going to let this go. This is easy clap, boys. You're just going to let this go. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come over here on the edge of this ledge, and you're going to put your camera on top of this roof right over here. So this is a good camera. It gives you a view of CT, but more importantly, it lets you see the choke. So this way, there's a couple different places you can set yourself up. You can put yourself up in this ramp right over here. This is going to work fairly well. And then you can also set yourself up right over here. This is a great place, especially if you're opping. You can stay right over here. You see activity in the choke. You activate this cage, and this is what you end up with. Works out really, really well. Very easy to do. Alright guys, now we're on bind, and I'm going to show you guys a couple one-way smokes for A and B. Long A for showers. And I almost didn't put this one-way smoke in because I think it's a little too inconsistent. But I thought I'd let you guys know nevertheless, because maybe you can find a more consistent way to do this that's easier. And if you can, let me know in the comment section down below. But here's what you're going to do, guys. You're going to come into this corner, and you pretty much have to look at this car right at this spot over here. It's pixel perfect. If I go to a pixel to the left or right, it's not going to work. As you can see, I'm right at the top right side of that side view mirror on the car. And once you do that, you're in this corner over here that I showed you on the bench, and you let this one-way cage go, and you get this one-way smoke. It's a very, very good one-way smoke. If you can get it, it's very rewarding, but it's just very tough because as you can see, if I go a pixel to the right side, it's not going to work. It's a challenge for you guys. If you could find a more consistent way, let me know. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew about this, so anyone who's ambitious enough to try it in a game can try it. With that said, here is the one-way smoke. Works very well, especially if you're in this left side cubby. If you have a camera on the back side over here, you're going to be able to take advantage of it pretty easily. Alright guys, this next one-way smoke is for short A, and it's a lot easier to set up. We're going to one-way smoke short A. See these 3 squares on the bottom? You're going to line up with the second one. You're going to hit this box. Start counting the rings. So 1, 2. You're going to line yourself up then with the second ring. So the second box here, the second ring over here. Now you're going to look right at the bottom of it, right over here. You're going to go a little to the right and just a little up. That's it. Right there. That's all you're doing, a little to the right and then just a little up, and you get this one-way smoke very easily with no hassle, and it's very effective because you get this one-way smoke right over here. Very, very good. Usually the position I like is right over here. I stay here. I make sure someone's watching showers for me, and I take advantage of this one-way. Very, very easy. If you have a camera right over here, anywhere on the left side, as long as you can see people go into the cubby, you're good to go. Alright guys, now we're on B site, and I'm going to give you one-way smokes for both choke. For the first one-way smoke, very easy to do. It's going to be one where you get people right as they jump out a window. So for this, the camera spot I like to use is this one right over here. It gives me a good slight peek into hookah, so I know exactly when people are going to jump down. Now here's the one-way smoke. You're going to come over here, and we're essentially going to put our eyes on this window like thing over here. Go right to the bottom, and the goal is to pretty much ricochet the one-way cage off of one of these extrusions over here. You see that on the left and right. Very easy to do. Stand close to the wall, look at the extrusion right over there. There's one on the right side, and here's one on the left like this. Now to make sure you put a cyber cage somewhere over here, and I'll let you guys know why. Trap wire right over here in window. You have your camera over there. Here's how the one-way smoke looks right over here. So anyone that's in this area is pretty much done for. Now the reason why I tell you to put a cyber cage somewhere on this right side is because when you're looking at this one-way smoke from this position, you're completely exposed to this side. So ideally what I do is I activate this one-way and I activate one of these cages on the right side. That way it blocks that off, and it gives me a really, really good one-way window over here that I can maneuver through, right? So I can also look at it from over here. Once this smoke is up, I can look at it like this. I can look at it like this. And anyone on that right side, maybe even long B, they can't attack me. And I can fully attack this one-way cage with full aggression. And that's why I usually have one-way over here. Gives you a nice window. So make sure you put one over there so you can really take advantage of this one-way smoke. But that's going to be the one-way smoke for B side. But that's going to be the one-way smoke for short B. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a camera over here just so you guys know exactly where this one-way lands. Alright guys, so once you're in this corner right over here, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the right side of this rectangle, and you're going to go up until you're just above this ledge over here. So I'm going to go from here all the way up until I'm just above the ledge. This is good enough. I'm going to let this one-way cage go once the wall goes down, and this is what you get. As you can see, it lands right on that box over there, right? And that's pretty much what it's supposed to do. And once it lands there, it's going to set up a beautiful one-way smoke for anyone that's coming long B. And when it comes to the camera positioning, I usually put the camera somewhere over here. Gives me a nice look right into long B. You can also put the camera right over here. This gives you a full look into long B. It's a little more dangerous, but you can be sure. And once I see activity, I activate this one-way, and look at this beautiful one-way smoke, boys. This is what you get. So tough to do, but once you get the hang of it, very, very easy. Just do the lineup as I said, and it should land on that box once the wall goes down, and you're gonna have a one-way smoke that you can mow down a lot of people with. Alright guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like and let me know in the comment section down below what your favorite one-way smoke is. If you want to see these one-way smokes in action live, make sure you give Twitch SpicyCurry0 a follow. Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 3 Eastern Standard Time. And also, I'm always releasing quality Cypher content on this channel, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you know when my videos are out. Remember, you can buy SpicyCurry merch, you can join the Discord channel, all the links are in the description down below. But anyways guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, stay spicy.